Hello and welcome to CoreTV News at 7. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. Nigeria's health authorities have announced that 4 Ebola patients have been cleared to go home. This brings to 5 the number of Ebola-positive Nigerians that have been discharged from the quarantine center. Health Minister Professor Onyebuchi Chukwu announced that the 4 individuals who were down with the virus are now disease-free and have been discharged. With the scourge of the Ebola virus still a major concern, the Federal Ministry of Health has announced that the experimental drug non-silver has not been approved for use in Nigeria as treatment for Ebola patients. While making the announcement in Lagos, Health Minister Onyebuchi Chukwu says the non-approval of the drug comes after a rigorous process by the nation's Health Ethics Committee.
And although the drug had since that last Thursday arrived Lagos, been made available to the emergency operations center, it had not been administered to any patients because we are waiting clearance by the National Health Research Ethics Committee. And then we also informed that by this morning, the National Health Research Ethics Code withheld its approval, which means we are not going to use it.
He also gave the updates on the fight against the virus and its
today,
spread across the nation.
The number of people who have died from Ebola virus disease in Nigeria stands at 4. And this figure includes the index case, 2 health workers who participated in the management of the index case, and then a protocol officer working for the ECOWAS Commission who was detailed to welcome the party, of whom the index case was among, who were headed to Calabar via Lagos. So those are the 4. The number of persons in Lagos that are currently under surveillance stands at 189. They are secondary contacts. And the number of persons under surveillance in Enugu, 6 secondary contacts.
Striking doctors are seeking the immediate reversal of government's decision to suspend residency training program at federal hospitals as a basis for further negotiation. This was the message national officials of the Nigerian Medical Association delivered to Senate President David Mark at a meeting on Sunday night with a view to convincing them to call off the lingering strike. Enemy officials, led by Kayode Obimbe, listed their grievances to include, but not limited to, improved hazard allowance for medical and health workers, about 10 months unpaid arrears, as well as appointment of Surgeon General of the Federation. Mark reminded the striking doctors of their strategic roles in the lives of citizens, saying that they cannot continue to look the other way when Nigerians face health challenges. He was also of the view that the outbreak of Ebola virus disease is enough reason for them to suspend the strike. Mark, however, promised to table their grievances before President Goodluck Jonathan in order to find solutions to them. Both sides agreed to reconvene on Tuesday to report progress on the way out of the logjam. President Goodluck Jonathan on Monday met with the country's defense and security chiefs at the presidential villa. The meeting was a closed-door session that had all service chiefs in attendance. Also at the meeting were the ministers for defense, police affairs, interior and foreign affairs. No statement was issued after the meeting, and none of the security and defense chiefs agreed to speak with the media. Presidency sources say the main agenda of the meeting was the ongoing war against insurgency in the country. The statement made by the spokesperson of the Department of State Services, Marilyn Oge, subtly accusing the All Progressives Congress of being responsible for the spate of bombings in the country, has come under strong condemnation. A legal practitioner, Fred Nziako, and public affairs analyst Babatunde Abubakar say the accusation lacks substance and admonished Oga to come up with facts.
I think this statement is not enough for the public to believe that the DSS is not being partisan. She needs to give us more detail. Arrests need to be made, But we have not heard of her making any arrests. It's just a political statement.
I expect that an institution like the State Security Service should be more wary of its utterances by virtue of the impact it's going to have on the polity. The spokesperson of the service did not say whether it was her personal opinion or the opinion of the service, but because she made such statement in her official capacity, Nigerians have taken it that it is the position of the service, and it is extremely very unfortunate that an institution that is saddled with the responsibility of thwarting crimes and terrorism and ensuring that Nigerians live safely within the confines of the geographical entity called Nigeria, is the same institution that is descending into the political arena to begin to exchange accusations with political parties and politicians.
Determined to have a functional railway system for the country, the Subsidy Reinvestment Program, SURE-P, has commenced technician and maintenance training program for the Lagos-Kano rail line. The program, which kicked off in Lagos, will have over 100 technicians trained to adequately maintain a rail track built to improve the transportation system from Lagos to Kano. Oluwaseyi Adegoke has details of this report presented from our studio.
The Subsidy Reinvestment Program SURE-P is designed to bring back to life the Nigerian railway system and other moribund government agencies, ultimately provide employment for the teeming younger generations of Nigerians. SURE-P launched a training program for technicians and maintenance officers who will be in the employment of the Nigerian railways to adequately manage Lagos-Kano rail track. The Minister of Labour and Productivity says the intervention of SURE-P has created a lot of impact in the lives of Nigerians.
Today we witness the impact the proceeds from the removal have made in various aspects of our economy. Our roads have become more motorable. Our women now have better access to maternal child care. Our rail tracks are getting rejuvenated. The East-West Road is nearing completion. The second Niger Bridge is being done. Lagos-Port Road is being done. And people are being trained all over. More employments are coming, and the country is witnessing a huge monumental change under the transformation agenda of that president.
Chairman Board of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, Bamangatopa, opens up on the idea behind the initiative.
To create employment. After you employ, you train. After you train, you engage. When you begin to train, you continue training. We didn't say 1,800 is enough. We are going to train millions, possibly. Not even within the railway system. They are training all over the place. SURE-P is the thing, one of the programs they are having and supporting really.
Chairman of SURE-P, Martin Luther Agwai, assured that there would be more turnaround in the initiative.
I want to assure you that all efforts are in place. Remember that if the railways start functioning, it will generate funds. And once it generates funds, you will need to train. And the more you train, the more proficient you become. Then the railway corridor will be much open, utilization will be higher, the movement of goods and persons will be higher, and there will be more turnaround. So it's going to be sustained. It's quite easily sustainable.
Finally, many who are in doubt as to the sincerity of the federal government to utilize the SURE-P funds to the benefit of the Nigerian populace can now heave a sign of relief, as this is a testimony that the funds will be committed to the development of the country.
Meanwhile, the Subsidy Reinvestment and Empowerment Program SURE-P is set to commit 10 billion naira towards the completion of the Abuja Light Rail project. SURE-P Chairman, retired General Martin Luther Agwai, disclosed this to newsmen in Abuja after inspecting the project. He said SURE-P's support was to ensure quick completion of the project and also expressed satisfaction with its engineering design.
The federal government decides how much we put into each project. And this year's budget, if you check, you will find out that the federal government have put in 10 billion naira into this project. As I've stated, our budget, Shopee budget for 2014 is 268.37 billion, and out of which government have decided which amount, how much goes to which project and where in the country. As of today, we have 14 projects that Shopee is funding from that 268 billion, and out of it, 10 billion is to go for this project you have seen today.
Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has released a health and safety code for the newly privatized power sector. The new regulation contains basic provision to prevent hazard arising from installation, operation or maintenance of equipment in power plants or supply stations. Speaking at the public presentation of the document, Commission Chairman Sam Amadi says the idea is to entrench a safety culture in Nigeria's electricity supply industry.
It should be understood that the development of an effective and efficient electricity market that will provide safe, adequate, and reliable and affordable electricity to Nigerians is hard work. It therefore requires commitment, competence, doggedness, and focus. The Commission is working hard to ensure that the newly privatized power sector quickly rises up to the challenges of providing adequate, safe, and reliable electricity in Nigeria. A strong and independent regulator is therefore important to ensure the development of an effective and efficient electricity market that will promote economic growth for the country.
Over 2,000 internally displaced persons are currently taking refuge in a secluded area in Nasarawa State. They are some of the people displaced by recent clashes in some parts of Wukari in Taraba State. Paye Samuel reports that the temporary camp is located in one of the Almajiri schools built by the federal government.
This looks like a refugee camp, but it is actually a school. The school was built by government for the Almajiris as a way of introducing them to Western education. But it has now been taken over by internally displaced persons from Taraba State. There are over 1,000 persons here. They had narrowly escaped death when an internal crisis broke out in Wukari. Some of them have fitted in well, while others wished they were at home.
All the assistance made by the Nasarawa State government, and we have a special assistance by their chieftaincies affairs, more especially the chief of Shabu here. If there is anything that we may be encountered, even within ourselves, that is within the circles of the displaced person, quickly he's been intervening. So before we realize in all angles, the necessary action will be taken by him. There and then, we made to find ourselves in a safer situation.
From this place, they get their food. They manage at least 2 square meals per day, provided by Nasarawa and Taraba State governments. These youths also take out time to relax in their new environment. The Secretary, Nasarawa State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Idris, said it has not been easy getting support to keep the people.
The people you see on this camp are people from Taraba State. They happen to come from 5 different communities in Taraba State. There are those that came from Wukari, others came from Aruhu, while others came from Chinkai. Essentially, our major challenge is, of course, managing people that come from different communities. It's one of the major challenges we've been having, essentially having to do with leadership. However, we've been trying our best to bring them together because they feel who should be the leader of the IDPs. One committee said they want their own, the other one said they want their own. So every now and then, this has been the challenge.
This 2-year-old boy knows nothing about where he is. To him, this is home, and he is keen to explore his new environment. They may have settled in, but these people are hopeful of reuniting with their families as soon as peace returns to the troubled spots in Wukari. The peaceful nature of Taraba State was recently characterized by violence in some parts of the state, especially Wukari local government. The crisis have rendered these people refugees in their fatherland. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Lafia.
It's the CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break and we'll be back with stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
This is Lagos. This is our city. You know that our city needs heroes. Yeah, yeah. Our future is in our hands. The spirit of Lagos. A city that is strong in value. A Lagos that is filled with heroes. With neighbors that care for each other. This is Lagos. This is our city. Our city needs heroes. Our future is in our hands. The spirit of Lagos.
I need you, you need me. Together, we're the spirits of Lagos.
Welcome you to From the Ivory Tower and happenings around the country. Varsity teachers get to air their views. Students are actually not left out. We bring you intellectual ends from the events happening around you. It is dedicated to educating the populace with a spice of entertainment.
From the Ivory Tower, Tuesdays, only on CoreTV News.
Thank you for being there. Ukraine has accused pro-Russian rebels of attacking a convoy of fleeing refugees from the city of Lugansk with rocket launchers and mortar guns. Andriy Lysenko, spokesperson of the Ukrainian Council of National Security and Defense, says the pro-Russian rebels shot at the convoy, which includes women and children, killing many civilians. He accused pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine of killing many civilians trying to leave a conflict-torn area by shelling them with equipment such as ground rocket launchers and mortars provided by Moscow. A United Nations humanitarian chief, Valerie Amos, rounds up a two-day visit for talks on expanding humanitarian cooperation amidst a growing disagreement between Iran and the West, adding that the humanitarian situation in Gaza requires urgent steps.
In Gaza, 1,975 Palestinians, including 1,407 civilians and 67 Israelis, were killed during the conflict. An estimated 10,000 people have been injured, including 3,000 children and 3,000 women. Damage to hospitals, schools, and UN Works and Relief Agency shelters where people displaced sought refuge will take months to rebuild. The United Nations response continues, including with the delivery of food, water, and household goods. Medicines and fuel are being delivered to hospitals. All recognise that all the member states of the United Nations have so far failed in their ability to deliver that political solution.
And it's a wrap on the CoreTV News at 7. Join us again at 9:45 for the primetime news. Thank you for watching. I am Ebulomo Adekunle.